round 2 of the W2RC World Championship. Pre-event checks gave the competitors a chance to catch up for the first time since January's Dakar. Sam Sunderland and Kevin Benavides will miss this year's event because of injury, but the bikes will be as close as ever. Lining up for Honda, Quintanilla, Brabec, Corneo and Van Beveren. While Toby Price leads the KTM charge alongside young hotshot Mason Klein. On the Hero Machines, Botswana's Ross Branch with Sebastian Buhler. Fresh off the back of a commanding victory on the Dakar is Nasser Al-Attiyah, hunting his 4th Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge win. Dakar runner-up Sebastian Loeb returned to Abu Dhabi eager to go one better. And Saudi Arabia's Yazid Al-Raji, on top form, could not be overlooked either. The T3 class promised to be super tight, with Dakar winner Austin Jones up against teammates Seth Quintero and Mitch Guthrie in the Red Bull Off-Road Junior team. The pre-event press conference, as ever, provided a great opportunity for everyone to share valuable insight into what could be expected from the event, a chance for media and rivals to hear from the expected front runners. The event kicked off with the traditional short prologue stage, a full sand affair, just 6.7 kilometres to determine the starting order for the first main stage. Picking up where he left off on the Dakar, Nasser Al-Attiyah was 4 seconds quicker than anyone. 5 long days and nearly 2,000 kilometres lay ahead for the drivers and riders, taking them into some of the most remote desert expanses on the planet.
Part of my life, being the founder of the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, when the challenges were there, it means a lot to me, because to see something that I invested 30 years of my life, over 30 in it, where it went up and down and the challenges were there, and to see it is I'm attached to it also. It's about also the championship that I'm pushing with the team to make sure it grows. We cannot only have the birth, we have to take care of this baby newborn. Never underestimate the dunes of Abu Dhabi in the UAE. This part of the world is very demanding. It's demanding on the cars, on both the driver and the co-driver, and also in the organizers. So I would say well done to them. I'm always here with an open mind. I am from the desert, I understand it, it's beautiful, and I wish them a very safe event.
The Rulers representative court Al Dhafra region stage 1 promised 242 kilometres of flat-out racing through Abu Dhabi's biggest dunes. A stunning desert sunrise greeted the riders as they gathered at the stage start, eager to get away. Ross Branch finished stage 1 in 3rd. The happy-go-lucky Botswanan rider on the Hero Machine just keeps getting better and better. A Dakar stage winner, could he do the same in Abu Dhabi? Long-time beach racer turned desert dune specialist Adrien Van Beveren is at home in the sand and a real contender for victory. A great opening ride on the Honda CRF 450, Van Beveren's second fastest. But out front, repeating his prologue performance, Pablo Quintanilla, topping the timesheets in the stage to lead the bikes overall. His strategy to choose 11th starting position worked perfectly. Everything played into the Chilean rider's hands. He led for Honda and even had enough time for some showboating.
We did a good stage for our team. The bike feels really good. The dunes really strong, and when you feel good on the bike, the confidence is coming, and the rhythm and the speed. So I think it's a mix of everything, and yeah, it was a good day, but it's just stage number 1.
With the prologue coefficient rule taken into account, Toby Price jumped up to third behind Van Beveren and Quintanilla. History must have seemed like it was repeating itself in Abu Dhabi for Sebastian Loeb. The start of a 3,000-kilometre rally, and we've only done 30. As the BRX Hunter ground to a halt with overheating issues, the 9-time World Rally champion and co-driver Fabien Lerquin were forced to stop for repairs. We'll do the best we can. We started today as points leaders, so we'll try and hang on to that, but we'll see at the end. It's not great mentally, not good motivation, but here we are. We'll see how much we've lost. We've repaired it, so we'll see how long it lasts. The duo forged on. But their day would finish on the end of a tow rope as they were recovered to the bivouac for the engineers to assess the situation. In the early going, Loeb's teammate Guerlain Chicheret enjoyed a tight battle with defending champion Nasser Al-Attiyah. But then he also stopped, struggling with chronic motion sickness, possibly a legacy of his big Dakar crash just over a month ago. It's hell. I felt more or less okay, but I know it's not going well, and then it hits me, bam. I can't see the top of the dunes. I'm very, very disappointed. It's very frustrating. While it was a bad day for ProDrive, it was a very good day for Toyota. 3-time Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge winner Nasser Al-Attiyah started by chasing his rivals through the stage. And there was no repeat for him of last year's first stage dramas. Raced away to win the opening stage by over 6 minutes. The dunes were also kind to Yazid Al-Raji. The Saudi claimed a fine third on the Dakar and was fourth on the prologue, only 11 seconds behind 4-time winner Al-Attiyah. At the end of day 1 in the dunes, he lay second overall. A 6-minute lead for Al-Attiyah, with Al-Raji only 13 seconds ahead of third-placed Henk Lettingen in an all-Toyota top 3. With Al-Attiyah picking up 5 bonus points for winning the stage, the Qatari would take over the provisional lead of the W2RC. California's Seth Quintero looked unstoppable in T3, still looking for his first World Championship win. Alongside co-driver Dennis Sens, the pair started their bid well, topping the timesheets to lead overall going into day 2.
The dunes, I have a love-hate relationship. I love them, or I hate them, to be honest, because it gets hot, slow, treacherous, but for some reason we always seem to do well on them, and that's exactly what we did today. Looks like we're probably like 6th overall in top cars, so super stoked on that. Good way to start the rally. Hopefully we can continue this and have a good time for the rest of the week.
Quintero's teammate Austin Jones also had a strong day in the dunes. 7 minutes sounds like a big lead, but in the desert that can evaporate in an instant. Quintero led after day 1 in T3 with Jones in hot pursuit. The battle lines were drawn. And this is how things stacked up in the W2RC Championship. Could Jones reel in Quintero? Day 1 was a disaster for Cristina Gutierrez. She had to be rescued after running out of fuel. Gutierrez was not alone. Running out of fuel in the desert inevitably costs a huge amount of time, as Alex McInnes also discovered.
Around kilometre 150, my bike cut out and I ran out of fuel, which was unfortunate. I was sitting there for 2 hours waiting for fuel. Yeah, the bike is a lot more heavy when we have both tanks full. There's 5 litres in the back and 17 in the front. So when both are full, it's a bit heavier, but the main thing is we're on enduro bikes compared to the big rally bikes. This holds less fuel, so we sort of have to manage our fuel a bit more.
We're ready for a certain amount and a certain distance, but yeah, it's
my Rossi telling us that no, I manage.
In the desert, you can't just pull into a fuel station, so official fuel supplier ADNOC Distribution brings the gas station to the competitors. When it comes to fuel, we don't take risks. We go with a full tank. In the sand, we use a lot of fuel. Because we have to manage the navigation, it's important to leave a little margin for error too. As well as that, it's cool to see where we are at refueling. Helps us to work out where we are in the race.
Yeah, I don't know if Ross and I are the strategist. We don't really know what's going on. We're trying to figure it out right now, but yeah, quick math we're not good at. We're going to need a calculator, so.
Without ADNOC Distribution's fuel, the entire event would grind to a halt. Spain's Pau Navarro was third in T4, just over a minute behind second, and he was the second best placed W2RC driver, so everything to fight for. Local heroes Mansour El Hele and Mohamed Al Hamri had a strong day on home sand, 4 minutes and 15 off the lead. With 4 more long hot days of action to go, that margin could vanish in a moment. The overnight leader is not new to being the hunted, however. Lithuania's Rokas Baciuska was the 12th starter right after the best of the T1 cars, and he opened up a slender advantage during a day which was every bit as challenging as promised.
It was a tough day, you know. It was hot, 38 degrees. My driver was sickness. He a little bit blew, you know, in the front of the stomach. But we survived, you know. First day, the organization said it will be difficult, hot, and yeah, it is like that. Tomorrow, another day, and we will see how it's going on.
The favourite for victory was living up to his pre-event billing, but with 4 long hot days ahead, nothing was set. And with W2RC championship points at stake, the pressure was on. Stage 2 presented by ADNOC Distribution, and a short road section before the stage starts with 257 competitive kilometres before reaching the finish line. Another early start for the riders in the W2RC and a long day of competition ahead. Skylar Howes on the Husqvarna made good use of his strong start position and ran the majority of the stage in second place. The American finished 1 minute and 44 seconds off the pace to eventually finish third, but his day's work was not yet done.
Today definitely got pretty warm out there. It was really hot and really physically demanding. It's a marathon stage, so we got to take care of the bike, and got a little bit of work to do today, so hopefully we can get that checked off and be ready for tomorrow.
The fastest of the Honda factory riders on day 2 was Jose Ignacio Corneo Florimo on the CRF 450. The Chilean second quickest in what was a smooth run through the desert to lie 4th overall. The convincing winner of the stage on his Husqvarna was Luciano Benavides. He arrived at the first checkpoint 4th fastest, but by kilometre 76 had taken the lead by 2 seconds and went on to extend that to over a minute by the finish line. The Argentine moved up to 3rd in the overall standings.
The last week it's been really tough for me with the accident of my brother, and also was many ups and downs, so finally to get a stage win and get the confidence back is something really nice. Tomorrow is a another tough day. I had to open, so yeah, it's gonna be a hard challenge, but I'm ready to do it.
2 stages in and things already changing in the bikes on a daily basis. An added challenge after the day's stage was the marathon aspect, and that means only a limited time to work on the machine and only the rider can do so. Fastest of the quads through stage 2, Lithuania's Levistas Kancius. After problems on day 1, he rode flat out to drag himself back into contention and move up to 2nd overall. After 2 stages, local hero Abdulaziz Ali remained on course to make it 3 Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge wins in a row. South African Henk Lettingen lay 2nd overnight, but was forced out of the dunes with a misfire.
We started the stage off okay, everything was going well, and shortly after that we started getting a misfire, and unfortunately we couldn't fix the problem, so we came out the stage and back to the bivouac to save the engine for tomorrow. So the mechanics and engineers will work today and tonight to see if we can get it back up and running and carry on for tomorrow.
Points are available for winning each of the stages as well as for overall victory. Nasser Al-Attiyah was chasing them all and claimed victory on stage 2 by almost 8 minutes. The Toyota once more proved as fast and bulletproof as it had on the Dakar.
Yeah, it's very difficult stage and not easy. We have 2 times big impact, you know, and it's a little bit shoulder is not really 100%, but okay. We finish and we are quite happy.
Saudi Arabia's Yazid Al-Raji finished stage 1 in a fantastic 2nd position overall. His pace on the Dakar had hinted at such potential. Now he was delivering. But in the technical dunes of Abu Dhabi, it's all too easy to give time away if you're too cautious or too eager. Al-Raji paced himself perfectly, opening up the gap on his pursuers. Almost the first thing Martin Prokop saw on stage 2 was a struggling Toyota. From very early on, he'd have known he was potentially up to 3rd overall. A little under 4 minutes behind second-placed Al-Raji's Toyota overnight, the Ford driver lost a further 2 minutes and 41 seconds, but after 2 days in the desert, would go to bed happy and on the podium in 3rd overall. With 2 wins on 2 stages, Nasser Al-Attiyah continued to lead as his rivals hit trouble. W2RC contender Martin Prokop had a strong day, moving up to 3rd. Good progress from the Czech driver. The co-driver's role in rally raids is greatly misunderstood. Sebastian Loeb and Fabien Lurquin give us the lowdown. Co-driver's role in rally raid is hyper important. I think it's 50% of the job. Our job's to avoid mistakes. We're not always in the spotlight, but here, where the cars and drivers are so equal, the co-driver can make the difference. In rally raid, there's also navigation with waypoints, tracks to find, so the co-driver's role is hyper important. No matter how fast you go, with bad direction, it's nothing. If the driver slows down too much in a valley, you've lost a few seconds. You have to keep in mind the principle is to keep the car on 4 wheels rather than going fast.
Savoir de quel côté on va avant d'aller vite.
With the driver, you create a code, otherwise it's too repetitive for him. I need to give him the details he needs to win the race. We both have the same way of approaching the navigation. We both know a little bit about it, and we're always working to optimize our system, and it's starting to go well. Sweden's Mattias Ekström, who drove for Audi on the Dakar, won T3 on stage 3, having run out of fuel the previous day. Otherwise, he'd have been right in the class fight.
We had to take care about the car for the temperature, and except for this, we had a clean day, no big issues, and yeah, just happy to have a nice day.
Ekström showing great speed, but nowhere near the front of the pack in T3. And for our W2RC competitors, the points all still up for grabs. Spain's Pau Navarro lay third after the first day, and despite finishing third again, because of a penalty for Mansour El Halay, he leapfrogged the Emirati to go second. Łukasz Baciuszka retained the T4 lead despite losing time on stage 2. Co-driver Oriol Vidal Montellano had been sick on the previous day, but more than made up for it when the Can-Am buggy struck trouble.
I got one stuck in the dunes, but we gained faster, you know, co-driver get out and push the buggy and we go again.
Taking no chances, they accepted a tow back to the bivouac. Local heroes Mansour El Halay and Mohamed El Hamri had a strong day 1 and were fastest on day 2, which would have given them the lead had they not picked up a 15-minute penalty for missing a waypoint, dropping them from second to third. Even with a lead of a little over 9 minutes, there could be no backing off for the leader. And the W2RC contenders continue to rack up the points. Abu Dhabi 360, stage 3, the rally's midpoint. 266 competitive kilometres, an almost 50-50 mix of dunes and sandy tracks. The start of the stage lay just 2 kilometres from the bivouac, meaning no antisocial wake-up calls. Instead, a lazy walk to Parc Fermé to collect their bikes from where they left them overnight, having serviced them themselves as per the marathon stage rules. It was a tense start to the day for America's Skylar Howes. He'd repaired a leaking rear fuel tank the previous night in service, and it would only be in the stage that he'd find out whether that temporary seal would hold or not. It held. Howes went third fastest. Prologue and stage 1 winner Pablo Quintanilla made good use of a later start position to dominate, looking set to retake the overall lead until he picked up a 2-minute penalty for speeding, which means he lay second overall, just 43 seconds behind teammate Etienne van Beveren. Toby Price had ridden smart on the KTM, finishing 5th and 6th on the first 2 days, ensuring a safe start position without sacrificing too much time in the overall fight. But after Quintanilla's penalty, Price was promoted to stage winner, meaning he'd open the next day and he'd need to nail it to reel in the Hondas in front. Just 43 seconds between the Hondas of Van Beveren and Quintanilla, and what could Toby Price do over the last 2 days? Local hero Abdulaziz Ali was hoping for his 3rd Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge win in a row, and so far everything was going according to plan. The Emirati took another stage victory on day 3 to extend his overall advantage. With only 2 stages remaining, the Emirati was edging ever closer to his hat-trick of wins. Day 3, disaster for rally leader Nasser Al-Attiyah. With With victory on the first two stages, Nasser Al-Attiyah had asserted himself at the top of the leaderboard. The Qatari sped through day 3 fastest at each control point, seemingly without dramas. But when he arrived at the finish, it was clear he'd had a major accident. It had been just 10 kilometres from the end. The car was wrecked. The Toyota's safety cell had done its job. Nasser and co-driver Mathieu Baumel were okay, but the team will have plenty of work to do to be ready for the next event, Mexico's Sonora Rally, at the end of April.
It was really a fast section, no danger, nothing, but suddenly we find a small step from the sand, from the wind, and it was in 6th gear, and just we crashed 3-4 times, and we land in the wheel, and nothing left in the cars, everything destroyed, but we try to manage and to finish the stage, and we finish. The FIA decide, to not continue because I think something damaged, in the roll cage.
Martin Prokop now found himself a fraction over 10 minutes off the lead with 2 days still to go. Always within a couple of minutes of Al-Attiyah, Sebastian Loeb finished the stage just 48 seconds adrift. But as his Qatari rival had retired, he took the bonus points for the stage win. And with Al-Attiyah now guaranteed to score nothing in Abu Dhabi, the pressure was on Loeb to perform and to finish. South African Henk Lattigan was on the attack. Unable to match the pace of the two leaders, he was enjoying a tight battle for third fastest with fellow Toyota driver Yazid Al-Raji, where the gap was rarely more than a minute and often much less. Al-Attiyah was still fastest through the stage, though of course that time won't count, so Al-Raji claims the victory ahead of Prokop and Krotov in the Mini, and in the overall standings, Al-Attiyah is out as well. Yazid Al-Raji now finds himself as the leader. Mitch Guthrie, no longer in the fight for overall honours after day one dramas, was now looking good to pick up points for stage wins, and he did just that, quickest in T3. Still in the lead of the class at the midway point was Seth Quintero. The American hadn't been on the top step of the podium since Rally du Maroc last year, but that all looked likely to change in Abu Dhabi.
Today was an awesome day, actually. We did a phenomenal job. Dennis did a great job. I think we extended our overall lead to close to 30 minutes today. So awesome day today for the overall. Sandy as always, my eyes hurt. Love-hate relationship with the dunes for sure.
So Quintero continued to lead, over 27 minutes clear of Austin Jones in second place. And for those entered in the full Rally Raid World Championship, this is how it all looked with 2 days to go. Day 3 in the dunes, and Spain's Pau Navarro was once again third at the finish line, but now only 17 seconds ahead of his Emirati rival. Buoyed by his Day 2 victory, local hero Mansour Al-Helay kept attacking, swapping seconds with world champion Rokas Baciuska in search of another stage win. For 2 days, Baciuska had used 3 words to sum up his stage: it was hot. The Lithuanian was just 1 second behind at the final passage control, and a 30-kilometre sprint to the finish would clinch the win for him. It was indeed hot.
There was quite nice road. There was some straight, some dunes. So it was really fun to drive. I'm confident, but you never know. Sometimes you can do mistake, you cannot see the drop and something, and you can break the buggy.
The battle for the podium in T4 continued to rage, with changes possible at any moment. And there was still plenty at stake for the W2RC contenders, and 500 more kilometres of punishing dunes lay ahead.